John Wayne was born Marion Robert Morrison in Winterset, Iowa, on May 26, 1907, weighing a whopping 13 pounds, to parents Clyde Leonard Morrison and Mary Molly Alberta Brown. John later claimed his middle name was changed to Michael after his parents decided to name their next son Robert, but there's no record to back that up. Wayne's legal name remained Marion Robert Morrison throughout his life, and that was the name that was ultimately listed on his death certificate. Join Factsverse as we discover how John Wayne came to adopt his iconic stage name, how he earned his nickname, and why he chose to leave behind the name his parents gave him. How Marion Morrison became the Duke. In 1916, Wayne's family moved to Palmdale, California. There, his father worked as a pharmacist while he attended Glendale Union High School. While enrolled in high school, John performed quite well both in sports and in academics. He was a member of his school's debating team, Latin club, and football team. As the story goes, a local fireman at the station along Wayne's route to school started referring to him as Little Duke because he never left home without his Airedale Terrier named Duke. Wayne quickly took a liking to the name Duke and preferred it over Marion, so it didn't take long for the name to stick. After graduating, John applied to the U.S. Naval Academy but didn't get in because of his grades. Instead, he enrolled at University of Southern California, where he majored in pre-law. While in college, he also played for the USC football team under legendary coach Howard Jones. Unfortunately, after sustaining a broken collarbone while body surfing, Wayne's athletic career was quickly squashed. He ended up losing his scholarship and had to leave the university. From college dropout to movie star. Coach Jones once gave tickets to a USC game to silent Western film star Tom Mix. To return the favor, Mix convinced the director of that film, John Ford, to hire Wayne as a prop boy and extra. Wayne later said he owed his signature walk, talk, and persona to Tom Mix's good friend Wyatt Earp, a lawman and gambler well known throughout the American West. Eventually, Wayne started picking up bit parts while establishing a long-time friendship and working relationship with John Ford. During this early period, he had minor uncredited roles in films like Bartley's the Magnificent. He also appeared alongside his USC teammates playing football in films such as The Dropkick and Salute, among others. In 1930, Wayne was working for Fox Film Corporation in bit roles. Director Raoul Walsh, at one point, approached Fox head Winfield Sheehan regarding a Western about the pioneers' historic trek westward. The film would be based on a Saturday Evening Post serial written by Hal G. Everett called The Shaggy Legion. The serial's title was a reference to the legendary last great herd of buffalo. In Raoul's imagination, however, it was a perfect allegory for the historic American Western expansion. Ford ended up signing Everett to a screenwriting contract in 1930, offering him $1,000 a week. The writing was the easy part. It was the casting that was tricky. He wanted the male lead to be, as he put it, a true replica of the pioneer type. He envisioned him as being somewhat reserved around women, since he had little experience being around them, but a fearless leader among the men of the plains. Walsh was nervous about hiring an experienced actor. He was afraid if he went that route, the actor's sophistication would seep through and be evident to the audience. Likewise, he was concerned an inexperienced actor would be unable to carry the role in such a big picture. Then one day, Walsh came upon young Wayne, who was going by Duke Morrison at the time, lugging some furniture across a soundstage during the production of John Ford's Born Reckless. Wayne was in his early 20s, and when Walsh saw him, he was laughing with a warm expression on his face. Walsh found him to be so wholesome-looking and magnetic, he couldn't help but stop and observe. He further noted Wayne had a nice physique and was strong and graceful. Walsh introduced himself, and John immediately recognized him as the director of What Price Glory. He told him he wanted to be in pictures, but this was as close as he had gotten to achieving that goal. Walsh told John he wanted to see how much he wanted to be an actor, instructing him to let his hair grow and come see him in 2 weeks. After showing up to the screen test 2 weeks later, Walsh cast Wayne in his first starring role in 1930's The Big Trail. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Walsh changed his name. While Duke Morrison had a bit of a ring to it, Walsh felt the young star needed a better screen name. He first suggested Anthony Wayne after Revolutionary War General Mad Anthony Wayne. Winfield Sheehan rejected that name, however, as he thought it sounded too Italian. Walsh then suggested the name John Wayne. After Sheehan gave it his seal of approval, the name was set in stone. Throughout these discussions, Wayne wasn't even present, but back then, stars rarely ever got to have input on their screen names. The Big Trail was supposed to be the first big-budget outdoor spectacle of the sound era. It cost over $2 million, equivalent to about $33 million today. It was filmed in two versions, a standard 35mm version, as well as a new format called 70mm grandeur film, which used an innovative camera and lens system. Reportedly, those who saw the film in grandeur applauded and cheered after the credits. But unfortunately, few theaters were equipped to show the film in its widescreen format. As such, it ended up becoming a huge box office flop. While that could have spelled the end of Wayne's budding acting career, he pressed on and kept his dream alive. For several years, he was relegated to minor roles in major films, but he also headlined dozens of low-budget Poverty Row westerns. In 1939, Wade appeared in John Ford's Stagecoach, proved to be his big break. He went on to star in a total of 142 films. Some of his most significant roles were in films like Chisholm Trail and Red River, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, The Quiet Man, True Grit, and The Shootist, the latter of which was his final screen role. John Wayne's cancer diagnosis and death. Throughout the years, John Wayne was plagued with numerous health issues. Much of this, however, was likely because he was a lifelong smoker. In September of 1964, he had to have a cancerous left lung removed. In 1978, he underwent heart valve replacement surgery. Though he enrolled in an experimental cancer vaccine study in an attempt to fight the disease, he died of stomach cancer June 11, 1979, at the UCLA Medical Center. He was laid to rest at the Pacific View Memorial Park Cemetery in Corona del Mar, California. According to John's son Patrick and grandson Matthew, who was a Catholic priest, Wayne converted to Roman Catholicism on his deathbed. It's also reported that he requested his tombstone read feo, fuerte y formal, a Spanish saying he interpreted as meaning ugly, strong, and dignified. Now it's time to hear from you. Which part of the story was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99.